Hello again, YouTube. I want to talk about Bill Cosby on this video. This is The Truth Man. The channel is... Man, where does stuff be coming from? I can see it right on camera. Right there. What is it? The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. Now, the question. Will all of these allegations of Bill Cosby make me look at him in a different light? And the answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know how this thing go. If y'all look at my videos on my old channel and this channel, I know a little bit about conspiracies. And I know that they be having some wild parties in Hollywood, y'all. And everybody be down until people start changing their mind about things. So Bill Cosby from the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s was a role model. On Fat Albert, I still watch Fat Albert. I told y'all one of my hobbies is I watch old shows. They so good. The music was so good. The movies. I watch E.T. right now. E.T., well, how old was I when that came out? Like 9? E.T. will get you, boy. If you got, I'm going to tell you like this. If you got any type of heart, even to this day, if you watch movies like Cocoon, The Elephant Man, E.T. is going to make you, it's going to touch you. It's going to touch you. Like E.T. was it was like E.T. liked the earth, but E.T. was missing his family. And that's why he was always E.T. phone home, E.T. all this, all that. And then he was practically about to die because he was that homesick. And so that's when the character Timothy Hutton, or what I think that was Timothy Hutton, got him back home. So when I think of the 80s, I think of Bill Cosby. I think of Fat Albert. I think of the Cosby Show. I think of a different world, which I watched and still will watch. I still will watch it, like literally. So I think of A Different World, Cosby Show, Fat Albert. He had comedy specials where he didn't even cuss and they were hilarious. You know? So I don't look at him like that. Because I know them people was getting down in them parties, and I know they knew what was going down in them parties. So if he did it, if he didn't do it, where he was wrong was ever doing that in the first place. Like, I'm not doing all that old crazy stuff for no money, man. And I know it'll cost you you won't be famous, you won't be known. I've been preaching a long time. I really could have got down with him a long time ago. But I'm not going against the Most High for temporary money that's going to pass away. This earth is not going to make it through eternity. It's going to be a new earth. So I'm not giving up the new earth for anything with the old earth. And in terms of Bill Cosby, Fat Albert, we had shows that taught us a moral lesson. That's why you come to Milwaukee right now. The only older people that's going to be a problem, mainly, especially in terms of the blacks, are the ones that might have some type of drug problem or some type of mental illness. If they regular working peoples, this, that, and other, they're going to be polite. They ain't gonna start no stuff. So on and so forth, mostly. Because we all grew up watching these shows. Like Me, all my friends, like I got friends that's still in the streets like that, but they still polite. They ain't gonna start no stuff because that's how we grew up. And who was part of that? Bill Cosby, Fat Albert. Watch Fat Albert, the lessons that Bill Cosby was teaching through that show, man. That stick to people to this day, but because he wanted to do this or that, we supposed to take everything that he did away? Like, I don't know the true story on that, for one. I don't know. I don't know if he did it or if he didn't. I ain't gonna say he did. I ain't gonna say he didn't. I wasn't there. I don't know. But what I do know is that watching the Cosby Show, watching Fat Albert, Bill Cosby was, instrumental in our development as kids. We didn't know that all that was going on. We saw telling them, be a person of integrity. This, that. That's what we saw. We saw a successful black man, married to his wife, taking care of his kids, teaching his kids the ropes of life. That's what we saw. Wasn't none of these little, gonna be a drug dealer, all that. Wasn't none of that. We saw people like him. I saw Rock jack up that drug dealer on the show. Sometimes we still go in and get into little stuff, but that stuff still be in you, though. And stick to you. Like, one thing about me is, even when I was doing all the dirt that I was doing, all that stuff I learned from a kid up, it was stuck to me. And like, it would be in my head, like, when I be doing stuff. Like, stuff I was saying on Fat Albert. Stuff I was saying on all those shows. Rock. All them shows. And then, like, towards those shows had to battle with all of this stuff, trying to be a kingpin, trying to do all this negative stuff. Negative characters. And so now, him being a positive character, and even like people try to say negative stuff about Malcolm X, not trying to hear it. Negative stuff about Martin Luther King, not trying to hear it. Because some of y'all's quote unquote heroes, come on now. I ain't trying to hear nothing about Martin Luther King, Bill Cosby, Malcolm X. Save it. Save it. Not trying, Martin Luther King was running through them. First of all, this might sound negative in the context that I'm saying. Excuse me. Hope y'all ain't hear that. But you don't know what was going on between him and Coretta. You don't know. No married man should have to go without sex. When you marry, that's supposed to be the best sex. But one thing about sex, it's better, as a man, it's better when it's done with somebody that's enthusiastic than it would be with somebody that just wants you to hurry up, where you can't even get your stroke on. And hey, this ain't for kids, YouTube. Hey, I apologize. I'm just saying. Because they want you to hurry up. You can't even get a second round and possibly a third round with a lot of, I can't say all, but as they get older, you know, some of them tend to have a little less enthusiasm. And we don't know what was going on in Martin Luther King house, so stop bringing that up. Just like a lot of y'all owe some of y'all preachers an apology, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you don't know what was going on in his house. What if he had a wife that hates sex, but then he go to his church and he got a secretary that's showing him respect, baking them cookies, and giving them her cookies. But then he go home as ding ding, fighting. Then he comes to church like this. Bless the Lord. You can only fake for so long. I don't believe men were ever intended based on how many sperms. Listen, how can I say this, man? PG. Let me think. Based on how many sperm cells we accumulate per day, I don't believe that it was never intended for a guy just to have one wife. I just don't believe it. And that's why some guys get in trouble. They be wanting to smell it. We want to see different shapes and sizes, different smells, different attitude, different personalities. The devil wants monogamy. You know why? Because the devil comes to kill, still kill, and destroy. Monogamy makes it easier for her. So I don't condone in any way grape or assate, if y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't condone any of that stuff. But at the same time, you can't expect a guy to just stick to one. So when you start saying divorce and they talking about he cheated. The cheating, I believe, is due to a guy presenting himself as monogamous. If you telling her she the only one, then it is cheating if she's not. Because if you didn't want her to be the only one, you shouldn't have made her the only one. But you live and you learn, man. So, Bill Cosby, I don't look at him in terms of that. I hope he didn't do those things. But if he did, he wouldn't be the first hypocrite. And when you're dealing with a hypocrite, say he did do those things. You don't just, when you dealing with people, it's like, if he did those things, I don't remember him by those things. I remember him when I was a kid, elementary school, middle school, with Fat Albert, with the Cosby Show. Now, if what he got going to get where he is, if that's why he dealing with this, that's him. I remember Fat Albert, Cosby Show. That don't make, if he did it, that don't make it right. It don't. And he shouldn't have. And if he did, hey man, everything we do could come back to help us or hunt us. He shouldn't have never been doing it. Fat Albert though, Cosby Show, different world. Bill Cosby was the reason why I wanted to go to college in the first place. I'm going to tell you that flat out. And Bill Cosby probably helped tremendously in terms of black people going to college. He probably influenced he probably influenced a lot of black people to go to college. With Different World and Cosby Show. But that's all I had. I just wanted to talk about him briefly. Don't come on here saying I'm condoning what he did. I don't condone any negative sexual behavior. I don't. I'm just simply telling you that when I think Bill Cosby, I think comedian, I think Cosby Show, I think Fat Albert, I think reason why I wanted to go to college in the first place. I used to watch Different World like, man, I can't wait to go to college. Then we had House Party. Remember House Party 2? Before I went to Jackson State, I watched that House Party 2 all summer, every day, practically every day. They be saying stuff about him. The light-skinned one, what's his name? It was a kid with the big eraser head, which all of us, he the reason why all of us start wearing them fades. And when we was in high school, man, practically everybody had a high top fade. A couple dudes had bald heads, but almost all the guys had Gumbies and high top fades. Like if I show you my senior picture, I had a slope, I had a Gumby. We had this dude from my neighborhood that he knew he can cut hair. We had a couple guys in my neighborhood that can cut hair real good. But I had like a slope, like a Gumby. So, a lot of stuff influenced us. And I think the powers that want us to be down, they saw that, so they start producing more negative stuff. And that's when you stop seeing the Winslows and the Cosby Show and Uncle Phil. All good examples. But see, this was crazy. This was crazy. And I thought it was fair, and that's why the show was funny. When Married with Children came out, how Al Bundy wasn't successful. And he was always in the nudie bar. So I think that kind of balanced it out, with Al Bundy. Al Bundy was hilarious. I would say that's, out of all the shows that I ever watched, Martin is the funniest to this day. You watch Martin, you're going to laugh the whole time. If you don't laugh at Martin, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Ain't no way you can watch Martin and not laugh. And then after that would be Married with Children. That's the second most funny. I mean, the one where they was fighting over the last Valentine's Day card. Oh, man, that was hilarious. And how he was always fighting. Al Bundy was kind of hood, kind of ghetto. Say, let's rock. Now notice, We don't know what Ed O'Neill did in his private life. Nobody knows. How do you know Ed O'Neill wasn't there at those Cosby parties? You don't know who was at those parties. But yet, we single him out, though. Ed O'Neill been in Hollywood for a long time, too. A lot of those people, in closing, I'm going to close after this. They were on the sitcoms. Before they got their break, they'd be on the sitcom. Like, it was nothing but sitcoms in the 70s, 80s. You had Maude, you had Benson, you had Different Strokes, you had Good Times, all these sitcoms. And they would be on those sitcoms. Like, we was watching Good Times episode with Apollo, with Carl Weathers. But that was right around Rocky, though. No, I think that was right around the time Rocky was about to take off. So, anyway, that's what I had. That's what I had. And now they're trying to do it to Umar, Dr. Umar. And I think Dr. Umar and Bill Cosby, some of it, they got to blame themselves. But when I think of Dr. Umar, like when I saw him in person, like it was some stuff I liked, it was some stuff I didn't like. But I look at it like Dr. Umar, I'm not going to go against Dr. Umar. I'm not. What is it going to gain? I'm not going to go against Tariq. Even though I like Michi X, but I'm not going to go against Tariq. You know what I mean? Michi X be on it. Should be on it. And cuss you out, boy. I'll cuss you right out. But I'm not going to go against any of them. Because the real problem is not people who make a mistake. The real problem is the people who work for the people who want to highlight the mistakes as if they don't make them. So the people amongst us that's not with us but trying to pretend they with us, those are the ones that's the problem. If you don't deal with blacks or date black women, no matter what, you don't date black women, then yeah, I still listen to you on some subjects, but as a whole, I can't trust you talking about the Bible, and I can't trust you talking about black people because you don't deal with them. Like, of course you don't.